Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Melissa. So I have done another little book haul. I say little, I'm literally surrounded by more books. Some of these I've actually already read, so I will go ahead and start with those, but I got some of these on sale from either Barnes & Noble or I went to Half Price Books where I just like had a coupon or things like that. So I've just accumulated a lot of books, so let's go ahead and get into these. The first book I have already read, which is actually Bennett Mafia by Tajan. This is a standalone romance mafia novel that I really enjoyed. I talked about it in my wrap-up and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. The second book that I have picked up and read is Eleanor Elephant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. Another 5 out of 5 read for me. This is an emotional, heart-wrenching, hilarious book that if you haven't read it, I really implore you to go ahead and pick this up. It is fabulous. The last book that I've already read from this haul is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I did an entire review gushing about how absolutely fabulous this book right here is, so I will leave a link to my review down below if you want to go ahead and check that out. As I'm filming this video, I'm currently in the middle of Eye of the World by Robert Jordan. This is an adult fantasy series that I believe started back in the 90s, and Brandon Sanderson ended up finishing this. I believe it's like 14 books long. This is the first one in the This is the Eye of the World. It's the first book in the Wheel of Time series. I have seen so many fantasy YouTubers talk about this and how awesome it is, so I decided to pick it up. I am about like 40–50% done and I am loving it. When I read Maggie Stiefvater's The Raven Boys series, I fell in love with the characters and her writing, so I saw that Half Price Books had the 3 books in her, I'm not really sure which series this is, but it's a werewolf love story thing. Either way, it was 15 bucks for 3 books and they're brand new, so I went ahead and picked these up. The Demon King by Cinda Williams-Chima has been raved about by several booktubers, and I have never actually read this series. So she's already in her spin-off series. I think that might even be completed by now. So I figured I would go ahead and check out the original one. So I picked up this book thinking it was the first in the series, but it's actually the second, and I own both of them and I read both of them on my Kindle, but that would be After the Lights by Abby Glines. And so I picked this book up and I'm such a dodo bird because I freaking thought it was the first one. Either way, I wanted this for my collection, so now I'll just have to go and find the first one. Perfect Chemistry by Simone Elkeles is a book that I've had on my TBR for a long time. I've been really wanting to pick it up, but I just didn't want to buy the physical book, and then I saw it for 5 bucks at Half Price Books and figured why not pick it up. Kings of the Wild by Nicholas Eames sounds like such a fun book. From what I gather, it's about these group of old men who used to be these amazing warrior guys, and something happens to one of their daughters and he needs help. So all of these guys are older and they've already done all their hard work, but now they're putting back all their armor on and going out for another adventure. So I've heard this book is hilarious and a lot of fun, so I really wanted to pick it up. The last book that I picked up from Half Price Books was Love, Life, and the List by Casey West. This is a contemporary young adult novel which sounds like a lot of fun, has to do with becoming who you are, bucket list type of thing, so this sounds like a lot of fun. These next books that I picked up were from the Barnes & Noble sales area, aisle, whatever you want to call it, so yes. I Found You by Lisa Jewell is a adult thriller novel. I read one thriller last month and suddenly I went crazy and bought a whole bunch of other ones, but this one sounds really good. Kind of like you don't know who this stranger is, who's your husband. Either way, not really quite sure. I don't like going into thrillers knowing too much about them, even though I've read one. Either way, this sounds like it should be pretty good, had some pretty good reviews, so I picked it up. Again, I have another adult thriller, and that is Sometimes I Lie by Alice Feeney. I believe this is one of those books where you're not really sure if you can trust your main character, if they are actually reliable or unreliable, hence Sometimes I Lie. I think it has to do, she might be in a coma, so I'm not sure. Either way, it's an extremely short book, so I thought for, you know, $6, I went ahead and I picked it up. Dance of Cloaks by David Galgish. I'm not sure if I said that right, is an adult fantasy novel. I haven't actually heard too much about it. I saw that a fantasy booktuber hauled it. She was recommended to her by a lot of her followers. I am not really sure what this book is about, but she said she was going to read it soon, and I was like, you know what, may as well pick it up and see if it's any good for myself. So to keep on with this fantasy genre kind of book haul that we're on, His Majesty's Dragon by Naomi Novak is the next one that I picked up. I believe this is a dragon-centered fantasy. I think it's a trilogy, maybe, but I really enjoyed Uprooted, which is by Naomi Novak, so I went ahead and picked this one up too. Dark Matter by Blake Crouch sounded so interesting to me. It's like a sci-fi thriller. Basically, he wakes up in this life that isn't really his, and he's trying to get back to the other one. I'm not really sure about the details about this book, but I do know it's been on a couple of best books of the year for some of the booktubers that I've watched. So I'm a little bit late to the Taylor Jenkins Reid fan club kind of thing that's been going on. So when she released The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, it blew up. I heard so much about this book, but I was kind of wary about the hype. When I finished Daisy Jones and the Six, I immediately got on Amazon and I ordered this book because I am here for it. I am excited. I cannot wait to get to this book. And then I went ahead and I picked up Maybe in Another Life by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is a contemporary setting rather than like historical fiction of the other two. What I gather what this book is about is this girl has to make a choice, and the book either goes down one path or the other, and you get to see both paths that if she had chosen one of them, what her life would be like. So I'm really excited. This kind of sounds in a way similar to Dark Matter, but I guess not really. I don't know. But either way, I am here for all of these books and I can't wait to pick this one up. My favorite Half Night Stand by Christina Lauren is a friends to lovers romance trope book, and I really like that. So I went ahead and I picked this one up. No Exit by Taylor Adams is an adult thriller novel that sounds really good. It's about a girl who is driving home and she has to end up stopping at this truck stop. I think it's a truck stop. And she's there with like 4 other people. She goes outside to her car and sees that there's a girl in a cage. So obviously there's a kidnapper, and it's one of the people that she is surrounding herself with. So she has to figure out who this kidnapper is. A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kimmerer, I think I said that right, is a retelling of Beauty and the Beast. It sounds really good. I've heard mixed reviews about this, so I will go into it with an open mind, but I am really excited. I love retellings, so I went ahead and I got this one. Warrior of the Wild by Trisha Levenseller sounds so good. This is a Viking young adult novel, and I really like Sky in the Deep, which was by another author. But when I read that one, I was like all about the Viking thing, and I went ahead and I picked this up because I'm excited. I think this one will be really good. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching my book haul. Obviously, I have a lot of books to get to. I don't intend on buying any more books. I say that now, but I most likely will. Either way, I hope you got some good recommendations, or if you've read any of these, please let me know your thoughts on them down below. I would love to hear back. I hope you have a great day and happy reading. Bye!